first snap, Williams fielding.
He's represented the USA in volleyball 410 times.
And a ground ball hit to short. Diving stop by Terrio. Two first. Oh, what a play! What a play by the shortstop, Ryan Terrio. Williams the pass, launches it up. He's got Clark at the goal line. He's got it. Touchdown. Washington Redskins. Oh, there's a little sugar in your cane. Simone got some for everyone. Rough exterior, but Augustus flips it up. Augustus flips it up and in. Oh, that was pretty.
Still at it, still at the new gym bears his name, and the man who's only missed one day of school in decades earned his 900th win at the expense of Northeast in the season
named to the NBA's 50th anniversary all-time team in 1990.
An All-American, he's the nation's top college hitter.
All right, Coach, first of all, congratulations on this honor, the inaugural EBR Hall of Fame. Tell us a little.
Well, Lester, over 50 plus years ago, coming out of Shreveport, Louisiana, I had a strong mother, strong father, and a strong support system that was always about hard work and dedication. We've all gone through some outstanding coaches, outstanding teachers that are always trying to inspire and move that next generation forward. And so I was just so blessed to have parents, have teachers and coaches that inspired me to go into coaching and to believe that anything that you want to achieve in life, you work hard and you bend your back and go at it.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I mean, listen, obviously you coach some tremendous teams.
Yeah.
Is there any one of them that stands out that's any different than the other that you feel? I mean, all the championships are special, all the wins and losses, they have learning as well. But what is like one team that stands out to you?
Well, we had the great Lester Earl to come through in the 90s, 94, 95, and 96 when we went back-to-back state championships. But they said that we were supposed to win that because of that talent All-American. But I would have to say that 05 team with Ryan Francis, basically all guards with the tallest player in Troy Cage, 6'4", 6'5". To go undefeated with that group of guys in 05, I would say was probably one of the better teams that I can really say that coaching and players that were better teammates than players. That was the most enjoyable part about that group of guys.
And last, Coach, obviously we talk about the teams you coach, the players you coach, but just talk about some of the coaches, some of the guys who come off the trees. Brandon White, who just recently got a state championship.
Yeah.
Can you talk about a lot of those guys?
Yes. Right. Well, I tell you what, it's very fortunate to have some of your former players to be able to come back. And with Jeff Jones at Madison Prep at this time, he's won 8 state titles. Father brought him to me at the age of 14 and said, Coach, take care of my son. Grow him up so he can be a young man and be a reliable, responsible young man. And you can see what he's turned out to be. And I'm so happy and so proud of what Brandon White has achieved. He won his first state championship this year at Liberty High School. I'm so proud of him. And he was also a part of that 05 championship team with Ryan Francis and Torrey Boyer, those guys. So with that said, I have just been so privileged to have such great talent and great coaches that have come through Glen Oaks High School. I want to also add that Lester Earl's son, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, which is playing with the New Orleans Pelicans right now, came to Glen Oaks about 2 or 3 weeks ago and just wanted to see where his father dominated at the gym of Glen Oaks High School. And he gave away over 150 pairs of sneakers to young men and young ladies that came to listen to his speech in terms of be responsible, be accountable, and most of all, and the most importantly, be dependable. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you this, Coach. In the short time I've had the chance to really talk to you and spend time with you over the last couple of years, it's been a blessing. I feel like I've learned and gleaned something every time I've talked to you. My little boy, every time he he enjoys it. He likes to show you his little shot.
Oh yeah.
I'm grateful. Yeah. So just like so many lives you've impacted, Coach, you are a jewel. You are a heaven sent to everybody you've been across, and so I know. Thank you and congratulations on this inductee until.
Thank you. And Lester, I want to say this in closing. I want to thank the people. You can't do this without strong assistant coaches, strong support system, administration, community support. Without them, I wouldn't be who I am. I've had great coaches, great parents, great administrators. And if you got that around you, you surround yourself with good people, good things will follow you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And it's quite an honor. Thank you so much.
I'm Vincent Earl Phillips, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm here to represent Mr. Billy Cannon and his wife, Dot. So,
yes, sir. So, tell us, if you got any great Billy Cannon stories from high school as a teammate, tell us what kind of person Billy Cannon was.
Billy Cannon was a good time Charlie. And he very mischievous. And we were very, very close friends all the way from elementary school. And we ran together all the time. And we had different jobs during the summer together. We both had to work. Parents didn't have a whole lot. And so we worked out together on weights, lifted weights at Alvin Roy's, getting ready for football and so forth. And then when I got out of high school, Billy's father was sick when he was in the 8th grade. So he missed that grade and he had to stay back a year. So I left him in the 8th grade and I went to the 9th. So I finished the year ahead of him. But so when I went off to college in Alabama, he came to visit me a couple of times, and they wanted, of course, Alabama wanted real bad, and they offered him a lot. I can't tell you what, but anyway, he had some. He had to come home, and his father was bad off, and he was kind of helping his mother, and so that's why he didn't go anywhere.
Obviously, we remember Billy for the great run against Ole Miss, right?
Yes, but
obviously he had been doing that since high school.
Oh God, he ran kickoffs back and punch back. I remember against Bogalusa, he ran 3 back in one night. And he's just a superhuman being.
Yes, yeah. All the stories you hear about him, not just as a football player, but also as a person, and how fun and how exuberant he was. He was the life of the party.
Oh, yeah. he was always there. He's just a real good person. He wasn't cocky. He didn't go off for all that rah-rah. I think the day after he got his what was the big trophy he got? The Heisman Trophy. He gave it to a restaurant in Baton Rouge. They still have it. He rented it out to them. And like in high school, when he got his leather jacket, he sold it to a guy the next day. He wasn't worried about trophies or nothing like that. He just plain old Joe.
Listen, we're so grateful that you were here to support, and not just Billy, his dad, and everything he represented. And so, as a Struma alum, you are. Yes, go Indians, right?
Right, go Indians.
Yes, sir.
Blanda faces 3rd and 9 with his back to the wall, but the old pro comes up with a play nobody was looking for. Billy Cannon takes the ball on the dead run over his shoulder and wins the foot race to pay dirt as more than 32,000 partisan fans go wild.
Wow, where do I start when I talk about my playing history? I always love to share that my attraction to the sport was something that really helped me to come out of my kind of quiet, shy nature, even to the extent of wanting to be water girl in the 6th grade. And then the journey just kind of continued for there, through high school, going to college at Long Beach State, and then invited to be a part of the national team in '93 after winning a championship and being named Player of the Year. The history is from there. 1996 was my first Olympics. Got to play all the way until 2012, and then transition into giving back to the sport as being a part of the USAV NTDP program and giving back to the youth and those who are on their trajectory to be the next Olympian and their best selves. Until now, actually being able to help bring an elite, first of its kind, professional team league to the United States called LOVE, League One Volleyball.
Well, first of all, let's talk about the Olympics, because that's amazing. That's always a highlight, because people talk about making it to the International Football Association's to make it to the Olympics. You are one of millions, right? You win the lottery just by being a part of it.
Well, the Olympics is something really special, that you have an opportunity to represent your country, to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself. It's super exciting, super amazing, super humbling that I was not able to do it just once, but 5 times. Eventually I said, I'm going to be on this team until I'm not. And so I was blessed to have a long career. But so many of my teammates, my coaches, the support from my family and friends is what carried me. Obviously, my faith as well, like having belief. And it's something that I love to tell young kids and just people who are inspiring to be their best selves, is you have to start with belief. And then you have to get into action, do, and then become. And I feel like we're always evolving.
And lastly, right, a Woodlawn High graduate.
Yeah.
A great school, beautiful area. Tell us about your time at Woodlawn and how that really shaped and mold and inspire you to just continue to push and push. With our high school experiences, they make it break more, and obviously it inspired you in some way. Tell us about that time at Woodlawn.
Yeah, Woodlawn was really special. I think if you go back and look in the yearbook, I'm a part of 20 million different clubs. Like, they offer so many different opportunities to participate in art and debate and all these different programs, as well as the different sports as well. And so I think that's very impactful in anyone's career as being a part of the EBR system, to be able to have those programs available so that you can pursue your eventual passions and those different things to be able to explore, to then pursue, is something super amazing, and I wouldn't change anything about it.
Well, first of all, lastly, congratulations with a prestigious honor. You are one of one. And what a blessing it is to have you tonight. And Scott, congratulations on being the course the first inaugural on EBR Hall of Fame.
Well, I want to thank everyone who made their efforts toward making this a great event. I know it took a lot of time and a lot of pursuit to have this happen this year, and I really appreciate it. And I'm humbled to have been a part of this first inaugural Hall of Fame.
Danielle Scott has played in every Olympic Games since 1996, breaking the United States volleyball record for Olympic appearances.
First of all, congratulations. Here's a representative of the great late Eddie Robinson and his legacy and what he left behind. Tell us a little bit about what you have heard, what you know about the legacy of the great Eddie Robinson and how it's impacted your life as well.
Well, first and foremost, Eddie Robinson is a Baton Rouge product. I mean, it's an honor to be here and have him become an inductee in the inaugural Hall of Fame for the East Baton Rouge Parish School System. My grandfather, of course, graduated from McKinley High School in 1937, along with my grandmother, Doris Mott Robinson.
Well, no, obviously we talk about his coaching time at Grambling State, but talking about his legacy. Obviously, he left a great legacy, not just the coaching world, but yes, mids, who he impacted, what he impacted. Tell us about what he stood for and how that's changed so many people's lives.
Well, I mean, my grandfather, of course, he loved football, but he loved all sports. But football in particular was his favorite. He's told me stories about growing up, of course, here in Baton Rouge. His family moved here at the age of 8. He was the age of 8. And he would go to McKinley High School and sneak, and look through the fence and try to watch them practice football. And of course, the rest is history. He ended up becoming a starting quarterback for 3 seasons, 3 years at McKinley Senior High School. So, I mean, it speaks volumes. This is where he got his hunger to coach football. So, I mean, this is, his school system honoring him, with this, this induction. I mean, this is where it all started for Eddie Robinson. Of course, the world knows him as the legendary Grambling State University football coach. But, I mean, it all started here in Baton Rouge. And a lot of folks don't know that he actually attended Southern briefly. A few weeks, my grandmother ended up staying a semester, but they ended up both going to Leland College right up the road in Baker.
Well, Leslie, congratulations. What an honor that we get to represent and, honor the great late Eddie Robinson. And thank you for being a part of this induction ceremony.
Thank you, and thanks to the East Baton Rouge Parish School System for this honor. Thank you.
Pride that has made us Grambling. We haven't always been Grambling. It's the pride, the winning attitude that made us Grambling. It made us want the nation to know who we were and where we were. And this is what you got to do. Maybe I'm silly as hell to stand here to ask you to do it. I don't know no other way. Winning is the name of the game. They're going to be there trying to get us, and you got to get them. All right, let's have the prayer and let's go. Let's go. Come on, everybody.
First of all, congratulations being a part of the inaugural EBR on the Fame. Thank you. Listen, I mean, where do we start? We could talk about capitalism, about LSU. We could talk about your great WNBA career, but we definitely want to go back to Cal. Tell us about your time in high school, because that really is where the Simone Augustus bringing it.
I know. That time or that moment in time for me was like where I honed in on my craft, where I became a leader, where I've, basically used the community as my motivation to do the things that we did. You was just talking about playing A-Meet and different places we would go, and people were cheering for us more than they were cheering for their own home team. But it meant so much because it was girls basketball, and we brought a different style, a different flavor that people really enjoyed, and they appreciated it. And so it was good to be a part of elevating the game.
Yeah. And we talked about, obviously, we see was, the recent generation, Caleb Clark as well. Angel Reese and McGowan, but you know what? I never forget when you became on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I remember this commitment on WFB when the white T-shirt on. I mean, that was really the start, especially here locally, of an iconic versus female athlete that we kind of got behind it. And then it kept it. Obviously, it went on to LSU. Talk about your time at LSU. I mean, we played for, I think, 2 phenomenal basketball coaches and get to a Final Four again through New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, probably one of the toughest decisions I had to make in my life, but it was the right decision. You know, I got a chance to stay at home for another 4 years and, like you said, be around my family, my friends, and the community that I had built up this real, like, tidal wave of influence around. And to be able to take my hometown team to our first ever Final Four, and it just so happened to be down the street in New Orleans, you know, was even more amazing. The only sad part about it was I was not able to bring home a title, but that was inspiration for players like Angel Reese and the current Lady Tigers who were able to bring home a title. And I'm thankful that I was able to be here to even witness it, you know, to see that happen. But, you know, my time was amazing. I wouldn't change it for the world. I think we changed the game because at that time when you think all the players were going to Tennessee and UConn, you know, respectfully, because that was the time and the era. So to step outside of yourself and do something different, that was a very tough decision to do. And I'm very glad that I did.
Just obviously CLK, and then speak, I think, to me, but it really changed the way the players stopped just going to just 2 places. We kind of opened up. Stanford started getting better, and so many other. And really, you know, the reason I take when you went to LSU was there no times. Yeah, it wasn't no State of Louisiana. Obviously, you have a prestigious WNBA career. Your time in Minnesota is well documented. I think my greatest Simone is the color crossovers, like you know, how that at all, you know, mid-range game. Where did all that come from? The mid-range.
You know, the crossover come from dribbling on the streets of Baton Rouge, but these potholes and taking gravel rocks everywhere. You had to be right. Like, you know, I'm old school, so you walking down the sidewalk trying to get your dribbles right and everything. The jump shot came from just sampling my game after the old school. Like my dad, my first tape that I ever watched was the Pistol Pete VHS, where he's doing like all them funky fastest. First basketball game I watched was Dr. J, George Iceman Irv. Like, that's where I sampled my game. Wasn't no 3-point line, so my dad was like, you got to hone in on your craft, your fundamentals, before you can extend and do anything else. So I think my mid-range game really opened up a lot of other things for my game, and it's something that people really appreciated.
As a bait, this team kind of reminds us itself.
Is it females or males? Everybody say I play like Carmelo. Everybody like,
in the, you know, actually really, you know, I always saying, I think you and Dwayne Wade game was
really. You think so? I can see a little some of that. I can see some of that, but I really, when I look at Melo, like our stature, the way that we play, the way that we move, how long we were, the mid-range game, he like big guards that can do a little bit of everything. I was like, all right, that's like my baby brother. That's my baby brother. Yeah.
Oh, and lastly, you know, obviously it's been an honor. You've made such a huge impact out on just the women's game. What's this region in general, like what does it mean to you, and how everybody, like everyone that goes, Simone, it's like, I'm not gonna say Jesus, but there's so I said, you know, what you've done and how you do parents.
I mean, I'm still processing all of this. Like you said, every time I come home, people know me, but it's because I have so many cousins. Everybody here is kin in some way. But now you come home and it's different. It's a sense of pride. You know, so many people now like, oh my God, I played ball with her and she's in the Hall of Fame and she's done so many amazing things. I think for me, you know, coming from where I come from, to see kids being able to point to somebody that came from that same neighborhood or that same area means so much to me, because it's not a lot of us that make it out. And for the few that do, we have to be a shining example for the ones behind us.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I'll never forget, I came to LSU 2002 playing quarterback, and I thought I was great all there. Now the video is, she pulled up in the New York Palace like, ain't nothing all about me all.
No. I used to get told all the time. Don't park on the grass. So don't park on the grass. And,
I just love seeing you get your flowers.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
First of all, congratulations. Yep. EBR's inaugural Hall of Fame. Obviously, being a Broadmoor alum, tell us about your time at Broadmoor and how, obviously, you were spectacular at this mission. Tell us about your time there.
You know, my mother, my father, my aunts, my uncles, my older brother, cousins, you know, we all went to Broadmoor. We grew up in the neighborhood. I grew up there, Broadmoor Elementary, Sherwood Middle, Broadmoor High School. So I had about a 3-mile radius, you know, where I stayed riding my bike. And, you know, it was, Broadmoor was I credit Broadmoor for a lot of my success, not sports as much as just in life in general. You know, the diversity at that school was amazing. The administration, the leaders, Coach Brian Vaughn, our principal, you know, to the teachers and everybody that there, you know, Rusty Price, Coach Hill, my baseball coach, you know, they taught us how to be men first, how to respect others. And, you know, we held each other accountable, the kids in school. And we didn't rely on those coaches and teachers to police us. We did it ourselves and formed some great bonds and friendships.
So obviously, I mean, everybody wants to talk about LSU. We'll talk about there in Charlotte. But, you know, is there anything from a high school perspective that stands out? A memorable game that you possibly had, or maybe a throw that you had?
Yeah.
You know, tell us about that one moment, because I know we all remember.
Yeah, I mean, you know, first off, I'm the world's worst at that. I don't remember anything from my career. If you listen to me on the radio, you'd know that. Like, everybody knows what I did. I don't even know what I did. I just know what time I had to be there. You know, what I remember most, is most fond for me, is the relationships and friendships. You know, Trey Duncan, my best friend in the world. Trey and I played Little League ball together. We played rec ball. We went to high school together. We went to LSU together. We're still best friends today. We talk every day. You know, Trey Duncan, Mike Woods, Michael Posey. You know, I look at all these fellas. There's not one particular moment, but it's kind of like, you know, that bond that we had. We're so close even today, man. You know, the games themselves were that was the reward. I think the fun part, the best part for me was the practices, you know, and that bonding and friendships that were created there.
Well, obviously, LSU going to have a storied career there. I mean, obviously, you know, what you did and then get it, and then obviously going to the MLB.
Yeah.
Tell us about your time at LSU, and obviously, you know, your career it's noted on Wikipedia, like most.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, LSU was a dream come true. You know, I grew up going to those games and listening to the names being called over the loudspeakers. And so, you know, as a kid growing up in Baton Rouge, you don't dream of playing for the Yankees or the Astros or the Dodgers. Like most kids in America, you dream of playing for the LSU Tigers. That's the major leagues for us, for me. And so to be able to check that box, you know, I never had my brain anywhere past that. What a dream come true to start as a freshman and to be able to help my hometown team win a championship my sophomore year, to play with some of the guys that I looked up to. You know, they were seniors or fifth-year guys, and I was a freshman, you know. And a lot of people don't know this, but I was a bat boy on that seniors team at LSU. I was 4 years younger than those guys. I was the bat boy on their team because my brother played with it, you know. So that was, looking back, if I could put on another uniform, you know, it would be that one. If I could play one more game, it would be in the purple and gold. To have all your family and friends go to the games and boy, that was a special 3 years.
And lastly, you know, obviously this is our inaugural Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've been trying to do this for a while.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to add or say? You know, obviously you've had some special people in your life, your family, sure, as well as your community, and we have always gotten behind you.
Yeah,
always support. I was a high school student in they meet, and I couldn't throw a baseball and I couldn't catch a baseball.
That's right. That's right.
You would like to talk about, you know, your time at Broadmoor, maybe, you know, just going into this.
You know, East Baton Rouge Parish sports, East Baton Rouge Parish is a special place. I've lived all over this country and some really big, nice cities, and I kept a house here the whole time, and I was always coming back here. Baton Rouge is home. Baton Rouge, you know, you were never treated any different. You were just you know, that little dude that went to Broadmoor that thought he could play basketball, you know. And so for this place to put its arms around me the way that it has, and then to honor me with this, it means the world. I mean, it really does. I've got championship rings and all kind of accolades throughout my career, but this one is very special for that reason. And I feel like a lot of people can share in this with me, because I didn't do this by myself. You know, the names I mentioned earlier, obviously Trey and Mike and my homies. I mean, they pushed me to have the success I had, and so Baton Rouge is a special place. You know, I'll never leave.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, man, thank you, man.
Line drive into center field, and that's a base hit. Here comes Terrio. The throw, not in time. Scudero delivers, and the Giants lead 4-3 in the 10th.
Doug is my dad, of course, but he's a down-to-earth person. He's a humble person, not one of those that you see, or you know, drive the Benz and all those type things. He's always driven a Chevrolet. If you know anything about him, he's always driven Chevrolet. You know, then he's tall, so he doesn't like, you know, just to be out in the atmosphere. That's just not his thing. But he is who he is. When he sees people, he acknowledges them. You know, it's never, oh, I don't have time. He always has time for other people. So,
well, obviously, he means a lot to me. Being a former quarterback, playing the National Football League, I met him and James Harris.
Yeah.
And just tell us about the impact that he made on the game of football, and especially for somebody like me being a black quarterback. What you see Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, what does that mean to you, and what does it mean to him, seeing his legacy still being set?
So it's so funny that you asked me that, because when he did what he did, I was only 5, okay? So I didn't even see the game until I was in my college years. I used to hear people talking about it all the time. Your dad did this. And I'm like, okay, you know, like, but until I saw the game, saw the second quarter, it was like a wow factor. And then it was like I understood why people of my color were so happy. You know, he was a black quarterback. You know, like he always says, I'm black every day. But he was a black quarterback, the first black quarterback to ever do it, as the kids would say, not to ever do it. So that will always be something that will be remembered. And now that I see the game as it has progressed, you see so many black quarterbacks, which they said at first, we couldn't do it. You know, now it's like, oh, it's prevalent. They can do it, you know, and do it and keep doing it. And now it's so many that doors that he has opened for. I mean, you named them, but it's like wide now. And the kids, I wish the kids now really knew the impact of what he created. You know, they know the Russell Wilsons and the Lamars, but they don't really know the Doug Williams and the James Shaq Harrises and all those, because that was our generation. But it's up to us to teach them what came before the Lamar Jacksons. But I think the Lamar Jacksons understand what the Doug Williamses are, so that makes the difference.
Well, listen, lastly, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're blessed to have you as an honor for him. And so we're just tell him we love him.
We'll do. Love them.
Made it to the National Football because Doug Williams, because my dad made sure I knew, hey, if you're going to throw this football,
you better throw it.
So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Fake this time. Fake down everybody. He's got Sanders in the clear at the 10. Touchdown, Washington Redskins. We are seeing a virtuoso performance.
So it means a lot, you know, to see people who have come from EBR school system and, you know, just greatness all over the place, from Billy Cannon all the way down to Simone Augustus. I mean, it is wonderful. It's a great experience. And when we know that EBR can continue that legacy, that's the part that excites me.
Yeah. So, obviously, we talked about Simone, we talked about Daniel, Scott, and Billy Cannon. Tell us a little bit about some of the work you're doing in the role you're in and how it's impact how?
Well, you know, I'm a state representative and I continue to fight for funding for public schools because I believe that it's essential in making sure that we have more successful, not just athletes, but students, period. And so I continue to fight on that level all the time. In fact, it was strange because I was fighting on that bill when it was time for me to come here. But I continue to do that because it's important that we educate our children. Everybody needs a fair chance at getting a great education. And a lot of times, because it's athletes, right, that gives children something to do. I remember back in the day, you had to do something. You had to be a cheerleader. You had to be playing basketball, volleyball. Your parents would give you something to do. And, you know, that teaches teamwork. And so that teaches endurance. And if we can do that and continue on that path, I think we'll have a successful state.
Well, and talk about that. Obviously, what we love so much about our community is on a Friday night, community comes together. On a Tuesday night, a basketball game comes together. And just talk about that sense of community, the pride that we have here in each of our schools because
absolutely. So, you know, I'm a graduate of the Capitol High School.
That's right.
Where Simone Augustus also attended, and she graduated from that school. So we have a sense of community and love when it comes to those football rivalries. And so we go to the stadiums and we fill the stadiums, whether that's basketball or football. We come into, and my great-grandson now plays for Capitol High School.
Wow.
And so it's awesome to see that. And they actually got, I think, like in the first round of playoffs this year. So it's awesome to see kids want to succeed and push forward. But the community plays a key, pivotal part. You know, there was people here that went to Stromer, Broadmoor, cross sector. I love that. I love that about our city and the fabric that we have here in Baton Rouge.
Well, first and lastly, thank you so much for being a part of our inaugural event.
Absolutely. When they called me and needed a sponsor, I held my hand up first. And I said, I'll be more than happy to sponsor this event, to be one of the sponsors for this event. And I think it's an awesome event. I love the smiles on their faces, even when we did Gramblin's Eddie Robinson III. He was so excited to receive that award for his father. And so it's awesome. And my hat's off to Sean Joffrion, the director here, and all of you for all of the work that you continue to do for not only athletes, but students throughout the parish.
And I said lastly, you know, we try to, I would say this with Simone, you know, giving these people their flowers, you know, and because they deserve it. Talk about a sense of responsibility of being owed back to the pillars of all the year. Because I think it's important to know, we're grateful for what they've done.
Absolutely. We stand on many people's shoulders, and we have to make sure that people know that we don't need to wait until they can't hear it, like you said. No sense in going to the funeral and saying, you know what, she was a great this, or he was a great that. We can do that while they're alive, and that's the part that I love about it, even though we did do two tonight that were posthumously, because it's the first one, and there were two who they recognized who have already gone on to glory. But certainly the ones that are here, they can know how much we appreciate them and the efforts that they put forth. People have not forgotten them. A lot of people, I know, I heard you go up and talking about your skill set that you got from Doug Williams. Doug Williams, even though I think they're from Zachary, still Baton Rouge, right? And so many of them came from Breck also. So all of this is community. All of this is love. And I'm just excited about being here to help the sponsor and make sure that the first one went off without a hitch. And so from the state of Louisiana, I just want to say congratulations to all of the first 2024 Hall of Fame inductees.